Shares of Sprott are under pressure today. The precious metals investment firm saw its assets under management shrink by $1 billion in the past quarter, but its earnings from operations do point to an increase of 21%, which is consistent with its quarterly performance throughout 2018. Sprott's also been heavily investing in new fintech as part of its growth strategy. We've got CEO Peter Grosskopf with us. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Nice to see you.
So let's start with what's going on in the quarter in terms of when we see that decline in AUM. What's happening?
Well, a combination of things. I think precious metal prices throughout the quarter were quite weak, so that impacted the top line. And then we saw some anticipated redemptions from one of the funds that we purchased earlier in the year.
So what's your outlook? I mean, one of the things that, of course, has been so interesting about what's been happening in markets is that we haven't seen precious metals do what you think they would when there's been kind of risk aversion, threats of inflation. They haven't responded the way they have in the past. Any thoughts about that and if that might change?
Yeah, against that, the U.S. dollars had a really strong year, so precious metal prices usually short-term inversely related to the dollar. I do think that if markets continue to come under pressure, we'll see gold acting a lot better.
And in terms of, this is always the perennial question, right, is the producers versus the actual metal itself. What's your view of why somebody should own a producer versus just straight up the metal?
Well, it's roughly 3x in terms of the performance when gold's moving. Producers have lots of in-ground reserves and leverage to the price through their operating margins. So generally speaking, if you're going to make a bullish bet, you're going to go for a producer, which offers you a lot more upside.
Is there concern that, especially for gold, I mean, it's different for different metals, but gold in particular, that the easy-to-get gold has been found? We know where it is. We've certainly identified it, and that everything else is kind of hard and expensive at the top of the Andes and the like.
Right. Well, for sure, the industry has made a number of technological advances which allowed lower-grade gold to be processed, but that has limits, and I think we've started to hit those limits in the last 10 years. So yes, I think the gold industry has a real problem with increasing production. In fact, most forecasts are that we've hit peak production this year.
Which should send the price of gold materially
should
higher.
Help.
Yeah.
It should help.
You moved into digital assets through a partnership that uses the blockchain. Just walk me through what you're doing here.
Okay. Well, I think much like the ETF innovation in the early 2000s, where it made gold accessible to a whole new range of investors, we've seen blockchain come out as a great technology. Gold is ideally suited to the blockchain. And we think what will happen is that gold on the blockchain, so that's a digital representation of physical gold, will be attractive to a whole new investor set.
And who should buy that? I mean, it isn't taking physical delivery, although I understand everyone is backed by physical gold at the Canadian Mint.
Right.
Who would own this?
Well, I think it's anyone who wants more accessibility to gold to use inside of their mobile phone and personal financial world. So if you want easy access to gold as opposed to going through a complicated commercial bank relationship, you can just open a One Gold page, order it up, and have it in your account in seconds. So it's just a lot easier for payments and to link in with your financial accounts.
In terms of the decline in net revenue, was that also in keeping with sort of an expected withdrawal of certain funds and having to do with the decline in assets under management?
Yeah, our revenues follow our assets under management dollar for dollar, so that was expected as per what happened with our assets in the quarter.
So where's the growth for you when you look ahead? What do you tell investors?
Well, growth for sure will first come from a resurgence in gold prices. We've seen now, I think, 8 really poor years for precious metals. We've been suffering through that. I think there was one 6-month period in early 2016 where it was good. But our platform's built to manage 2 or 3 times as much money as we currently do.
Great to have you here for this, Peter.
Okay, thank you.